She was then asked to give up the sword, but refused.
Given her full history, it is possible that she will never be able to part with her sword and will need to maintain a boundary between herself and others. She exhibits some personality traits which are common in survivors of childhood abuse, such as fear of abandonment.
Naisho was dismissed from the army some 10 years ago on psychological grounds. She has a chronic post-traumatic stress disorder.
If I am the way I am today because of everything that happened to me, then I'm all right with it. Because I wouldn't change who I am now.
But things are changing. Naisho used to love weapons of aggression. Not anymore. Her new lovers mostly give joy to people, apart from one, the Berlin Wall. Naisho herself doesn't quite understand that passion. And so she travels to Europe to find her answers and to visit her grand lovers. Her first stop is Sweden to catch up with her old friend and mentor, Aerita. A little human warmth, after all, can be of help too.
Hello! Good to see you.
Naisho is very much in love with the Berlin Wall, Aerita's husband of 30 years. Objectum sexuals believe in polygamy.
So you both love the Berlin Wall, right?
Yeah,
And you're sitting at this one table. How does it work?
it just does.
It works.
Why wouldn't it work? It's
But then you did say earlier today that there have been some difficulties.
Yeah, it was in the beginning when we...
just didn't understand each other as
Yes.
well. Yeah. Well, now we understand and it's no problems.
Yes.
The women share a mutual understanding and yet another lover, a provincial bridge near Leiden.
I am not a woman. You are just a bridge, and to the world you serve your course, and they expect me to.
And so Naisho goes to Berlin to see her most controversial and complicated lover, the Berlin Wall.
And how long have you waited to be touched like this? Imagine quite some time.
Thousands died trying to cross it to escape to freedom. In 1989, a rejoicing crowd pulled the wall down, marking the end of communism. Only a few remnants are left. The Checkpoint Charlie Museum is devoted to the memory of those who died crossing the Berlin Wall. Naisho wants to learn more about the history of her beloved, but it's painful.
Could you explain why it was important to destroy the Berlin Wall in 1989?
It was very, very important to destroy Berlin Wall. You know, the wall was not just a wall. The wall was the strongest part of the division of the world. And to put this wall away was very important, to put the world again together.
And I understand a lot of what you're saying from my own experience, and I was in a free country, and this still happened to me. So sometimes it doesn't matter if you're behind a wall or in the most free country.
No, you cannot say that this is the same. You could move as you want.
Actually, I couldn't. I was a property of the government, and they moved me when they wanted to move me. I lived with 6 different families, growing up.
But you cannot say this is the same with the people, for example, of my country or the
I'm
people.
not saying it's the same, I'm saying that I understand the feelings of not being free.
But nevertheless, I think this is wrong way to set to put these two things on the one table. This is very different.
I don't know, I mean, I can sympathize with the children being taken from their families.
You cannot imagine. I was grow up in the Ukraine. You cannot imagine how it is in former communist countries.
I'm not talking about the political part of it. I'm talking about being taken away and abused, violated, physically abused. Those things I can relate to because I've experienced that. I'm not saying that I had it worse than the people in the communist country. By all means, I'm not saying.
They did separate the family. They did put the mother in the prison, and the children separated in a special house.
At least those parents still love their children. My parents didn't love me at all. I tried to hate you. I tried to hate you. And what I don't get is that they say you brought all this pain and suffering to people, so why is it such a big problem that you bring happiness and joy to me? I mean, isn't that what they want? Is people to have happiness and joy? I curse myself for being human. I wish I were an object just like you. I wish I were part of you.
You said to me some time ago that in some strange way you felt there were similarities between you and the Berlin Wall.
I feel that the Berlin Wall was built, made, and then later rejected by the people that made him. And I have to say, I feel that way about my own life. I feel that I was brought into this world and then they later regretted, and I was rejected like he was. I just don't understand how some people can bring someone into the world like a child, an object, and then not love them. I struggle with that in my own life. How could someone bring me into this world and not love me?
Even now?
Even now. I have had so many opportunities in my life to give up and go down the wrong road and let the wounds fester inside of my heart. But this ragged old wall has taught me a few things, and that one most important thing is to stand up. And who cares what people think about you? Stand up and be yourself. And I am standing up and being me. I am the Berlin Wall. You hate me, try to break me apart, try to tear me down, but I will still be here standing.
Amy's love for objects has had its problems. She's been ridiculed and rejected. Once upon a time, she had a happy love affair with a church organ called Paul. When the previous pastor found out about the affair, he asked her to leave, and that broke her heart. Now there is a new pastor, Pastor Mark. He's only just found out about her sexual encounter with the church banister. Amy is terrified that he too will exclude her from his congregation. The moment of reckoning